Okay, so the second fight in this main card is between Mackenzie Dern and Randa Markos. Before I go any further, I just want to let you guys know that I'm making other predictions. This isn't the only fight I've predicted. I've also made predictions on other fights on the main card coming September 20th. If you're interested to check those out, make sure to subscribe to the channel to be notified when I post, because I'll also be covering the next ones, UFC 253 with Paulo Costa, Israel Adesanya. I'm gonna cover that, and I'm passionate about covering. So if you're interested in it, subscribe. But listen, before I go any further, I just want to let you guys know of the odds of this fight between Mackenzie Dern and Randa Markos. Dern is the favorite at minus 190. Markos is the underdog at plus 150. And this is kind of expected. You have Mackenzie Dern, who is she's a renowned world-class jiu-jitsu grappler and wrestler. She's won 5 of her 8 professional fights by submission, and she's also won numerous competitions outside of the UFC. Specifically, she's also an ADCC and BJJ world champion. Excuse me? You don't want to fight against anyone like that. Are you kidding? She might look pretty, she might look nice, but she'll take your head off in that octagon. So not too long ago, we actually saw Mackenzie Dern's level and the ground game she was able to display against the very powerful Hannah Cifers. Specifically, she submitted her in the very first round, which was amazing to see for Mackenzie Dern. But this wasn't her only submission that, was shown in her career that was really, really admiring to see. She specifically won in similar fashion against renowned fighters like Amanda Brundage, Colleen Medeiros, Mandy Polk, and Montana De La Rosa. So as we know, submitting opponents is nothing new to her game. It's what she's been doing since the get-go, and that's what I'm going to be expecting she's going to try to, exploit against a fighter like Randa Markos. So specifically now, let's talk about Randa Markos. So she's got a record of 10-8. What's interesting about her is her relentlessness in the octagon. Like, you see Randa Markos, you're going to expect a fight. She hasn't been scared to take on some of the top contenders in her division. Claudia Gadelha, yeah, she lost against her, but still, she displayed a pretty good fight in my opinion. She's never been knocked out, and she's only lost 1 fight via submission, which is extremely impressive. So her fight game is one that's characterized as, prolonged, you could argue. She's not one that's like a get in, get out. She's more of like gets in and then she feels you out, and then she just releases with pressure and just completely takes you on, and then is not scared to take you into those deep waters, into those later rounds where she's finished most of her fights in that fashion. Her purple belt in jiu-jitsu, I don't think will be enough to compete against a black belt in Mackenzie Dern. So if I was Randa Markos, I'd try to keep this fight on my feet as much as possible, because I know that the moment I get into a grappling situation with a fighter like Mackenzie Dern, which is her specialty, it's going to be trouble. So I believe that the best chance for Randa Markos to win this fight is to try and just keep that high pressure that she usually keeps within fights, and to try and take this fight into those later rounds and potentially snatch a win from the judges' decisions. I think that's her best shot. I don't see her knocking out Mackenzie Dern. She's won no fights via knockout, and I don't see this to be the alignment of the stars where she just gets this Ngannou knockout against Mackenzie Dern. Specifically, Randa Markos is coming into this fight with a recent loss against Amanda Ribas via decision. But if you look at her fights before that as well, you'll notice that her record is very versatile. Like, she'll win one, she'll lose the next, then it's like no contest, and then she'll win and then lose. And you don't see this consistent pattern where it's like, yo, she's on form, watch out for her. Like, she'll win one and she's amazing, and then she'll lose the next one. And very versatile record, which, makes you question, whether or not she could potentially beat a fighter like Mackenzie Dern, who on the other hand is an extremely consistent fighter. So that could potentially be why she's seen as the underdog, Randa Markos, in this fight. And so how do I think the fight is going to go? I mean, listen, I think Mackenzie Dern is going to win this fight. If she's able to withstand the pressure for Randa Markos on her feet, and she's able to find an opening where she can snatch a takedown and then work her game from there, it's lights out. I think that's when Mackenzie Dern is going to take this fight home. I believe she's going to come out on top. Also, just her experience and just her wrestling prowess in general in all different aspects of the game, whether it's wrestling, jiu-jitsu, she's pretty much mastered and is willing to take that art further into her fight game, which makes her an extremely dangerous fighter. And yeah, I think she's going to come out on top, and I think this fight is going to end via submission. And you know, just purely looking at Mackenzie Dern's fighting style, she's won 5 of her last 8 via submission. So if she's going to take this fight home, I think it's predominantly going to be via submission. If she's going to let this fight go into the later rounds, that's when Randa Markos is going to have a higher chance than normal to win. Just because she's won most of her fights via decision. So if I was Mackenzie Dern, I'd try to finish this fight via submission. That's what I think, though. I'm interested to know what you guys think. Comment down below how you think this fight is going to go. There were so many underdog victories in the previous card. I looked like a fool. I guess like 2 out of 4, right? 2 out of 6, right? Or something like that. Could this be another fight where you see an underdog taking over the favorite? And yeah, that's what I think. If you're interested, if you like this prediction and you're interested in more that are going to be coming your way, make sure to subscribe to the channel to be notified when I post. And if you do subscribe and I see you guys in the next one, then I'll see you guys in the next one.